I would like to introduce you to a cooperation between InnoSwiss, RVO, and Health Holland, and we go directly to the next slide, please. Here you see the program of today's webinar. I will give you a short background of this cooperation. Then we go to the call, the bilateral call we have set up, some rules in Switzerland and in the Netherlands, funding conditions, all the important details you need to know if you want to participate at this call, timeline, participation and application, and all the background material we think you need, and you might have other questions, and we will discuss them at the end. So please, next slide. So how does it come to this cooperation? Actually, the Netherlands and Switzerland are very well connected in the area of innovation for over 40 years, I think, almost. We are collaborating in the governmental networks, in Horizon Europe, in other programs. But today we are talking about the collaboration within Eureka. We see from our perspective, from InnoSwiss perspective, the Netherlands is our second biggest partner country. So there is a really active collaboration in the domain of innovation going on. And if you look a bit closer, the main topic of this collaboration is life science. So we have been in constant exchange. We have an open program called Eurostars, where we already have a lot of projects. However, these are really small and market-driven projects. And some time ago, we were contacted, or we established contacts with the help of the Dutch embassy to the Netherlands to Health Holland. And we got in touch with this exciting organization in the Netherlands, which is doing a mission approach in health. And we discussed if we should not work more together and address more complex fields, which are not so directly market-oriented and small collaboration projects. So we had a first pilot call together with Health Holland on e-health, or digitization if you want. We had a really nice project, and we saw this cooperation works really well. We have very suitable mechanisms on both sides. So we decided to dig into more cooperation, and we think the main elements of this cooperation should be an exchange between the stakeholders in Switzerland and in the Netherlands, but also with a follow-up where projects, where we can support projects where this initial contact is actually then also implemented. So you will probably see it later on, but we have today's webinar, we have a delegation coming to Switzerland. We try to matchmake you as good as we can online with a dedicated online system. And last but not least, this call shall also help to bring people together. Now, we have discussed last year, also in spring, if I'm not wrong, what should be the topic. And we understand this as a first topic for a first call, and we anticipate that there will be future calls in other topics, which we will discuss with specialists in which topics this will be. But for the first round, for the first call, which we are discussing today, we have the topic gene and cell therapy. At the next format of the Swiss Biotech Day, probably there or in also other contexts, we will discuss new topics then. So please go for the next slide. So the basic fundament of this collaboration is, of course, some funding which is available on the side of InnoSwiss and on the side of the Netherlands. We have an equilibrated funding earmarked on both sides, and this shall be actually used for this cooperation, for implementing projects. And I think I stop here if I'm not wrong, and I would give the word to Niels van Looijen, who will go into the details of this collaboration, of the topics, and we'll start from there. I wish you a very fruitful day and good discussions, and keep in touch with us. If you have any questions, we are happy to collaborate with you. So have a nice webinar. Niels, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Andreas. And also on behalf of the Netherlands Enterprise Agency, or Rijksdienst voor Ondernemen Nederland, RVO for the Dutch, welcome to this webinar. Thank you for joining. And also great thanks to InnoSuisse and Health Holland in making this call happen. A quick introduction. My name is Niels van Leeuwen. I work at the Department for International Research and Innovation Cooperation at RVO, and very much involved with my colleagues in supporting bilateral and multilateral research and development collaboration in the area of life sciences and health. So I'm very pleased that we can contribute to this bilateral call with Switzerland. Maybe one step back, like Andreas already mentioned, we already have strong ties with Switzerland and with InnoSuisse, of course, as well in the context of Eureka with the Eurostars program, and especially in the biotech pharma and digital field, we see that represented in already bottom-up projects, and we'd like to strengthen that more. So that is also the background of the interest of the Netherlands to strengthen the ties with Switzerland in the area of life sciences and health. And also mentioned by Andreas, many of our startups and SMEs, they already find their way to Switzerland, supported by the Eurostars program, which is aiming for slightly more compact projects. And I'd like to stress this is still a very interesting opportunity if you have smaller projects in mind. But as already explained in this call, we want to aim for larger, bigger public-private partnerships in the area of cell and gene therapy. And this is a call resulted from earlier discussions last year during a strategic roundtable in Basel. This topic was addressed. We thought, let's pick a very simple topic to start with, and we of course noticed that that is not the case here, but it is a challenging field, and we're not aiming for only biotech, cell and gene therapy research as such, but with the mission to develop those new innovative therapies faster and in a more affordable way, so it can be at the patients faster and in a more affordable way. In that context, you have to read the call text as well. And besides introducing myself and giving this background, also with the slide, I want to address some challenges or multiple topics which are identified or which you can think of in prepping your consortium and drafting your project outline. So as I said, it's not about only the biotech research. In this call, we invite you for sure to take into account, where possible, to address the challenges we see in development of these new therapies. How can we bring them faster and more affordable to market? This might require new scientific approaches and multidisciplinary research, potential new technologies, but we also notice that this also might need new drug development and manufacturing or supply chain models. And how can that be integrated in your project? Maybe you make better use of other use, or in a different way, of the available data or AI technologies or whatever. This is just a quick overview and some examples where you can think of, but when you draft your project, keep that in mind, that we are looking for a multi-dimensional, multidisciplinary approach in your project in this broad field. And we will not dictate which potential topics you should address in the project. This is just to start the thinking and to trigger you. That is, as I said, bigger than just the biology part in the project. Maybe to the next slide. For this call, we drafted some base rules for public-private project applications. So that is what we're looking for. With the scope of the call and ambition to contribute to faster and more affordable therapy development, we align with the Swiss and Dutch strategies, which are mentioned on this slide. And when you build your consortium and preparing your project outline, make sure you take note of these strategies and draft your proposal accordingly. And I think the forms which will be available help you in that as well. But it's important to note that this is the basis where we start off from. And as mentioned earlier, we aim for bigger consortia. The consortia should consist of at least one research organization and one for-profit enterprise, a company in each country. So minimum of 4. But of course, and I think we should encourage that, larger consortia are possible. Although we ask you to take into account the challenges in innovative therapy development, I'm aware those challenges are not only in the scope of research and development, but please note these projects are still research and development projects, so we aim for projects within the technology readiness levels between 4 to 7. I think with that I pass on to you, Annabelle, for further details.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. My name is Colette John Grant. I am the Eureka Program Manager with InnoSwiss in the Department of International Cooperation in InnoSwiss. And as we've heard, we've had a good exchange with our colleagues from the Netherlands over the last few years. We have set up this call as a 2-stage process to ensure that we can get a good mix in the consortia. As you've seen, we have some consortia rules that we want to have, and we'd like you to then apply with a project outline, and we will then check this, talk between Health Holland, RV and ourselves, and then get back to you with some feedback. We'll then ask you to submit a full project in September, also indicated here. This, of course, has to take place separately because each country has their own evaluation and uses their own experts to do that. So please check the call document, which is on the website of B2Match. It's also on the InnoSwiss and the Health Holland website. We require certain information to be added along with the call document, along with your applications as well, like financial statements, a draft consortium agreement, or a budget form. This will be indicated again when we get back to you with our suggestions and our request that you send in the full project. Next slide, please. So the funding conditions in Switzerland are that InnoSwiss can cover up to a maximum of 70% of the project costs of all Swiss participants. This includes 50% for SMEs, large companies may be involved, they will also with up to 25%, and Swiss research partners can receive up to 100. As has been mentioned before, we do require that at least one research partner is part of the consortium, and they will have to work together with a company. So far, the Swiss rules on funding. Thank you.
Yes, so I will take over. I will shortly introduce myself. My name is Annabelle Hendricks. I'm a program coordinator at Health Holland, and together with my colleague Jolande Seijstra, we coordinate this collaboration from Health Holland side. So I will elaborate on the funding conditions of Health Holland. I will do this both in terms of content and finance. So first, a small side note, this is a summary of the funding conditions, and all conditions are given in the call document. So first of all, it is important that effective collaboration takes place. So the project needs to be realized at joint cost and joint risk. All consortium partners should make a substantial contribution to the project. The research project should benefit the Dutch knowledge infrastructure and economy, and Dutch companies should get the right to exploit project results in their specific business area. Also, the project should, of course, be of high quality, and the innovative project and services should have an added societal and economic value. So to give you a short example, an example of societal value is improving the quality of life of a patient, or economic value by diagnosing a disease earlier, you can thereby save more healthcare costs. So the project must start at the 1st of March 2025 at the latest. And we also require a consortium agreement, which must be submitted at the end of January 2025 at the latest. So we have a consortium agreement template, which can be used for all projects, and this, of course, will all be shared on time. So now let's dive into the financial conditions of the Netherlands and PPP subsidy, starting with what amount of PPP subsidy you can apply for. So first of all, as Colette already indicated, Dutch parties can apply for PPP subsidy at Health Holland, and Switch partners should apply for their subsidy at InnoSuisse. So PPP subsidy is limited per partner at an individual level based on how much cost a partner makes. This depends on the type of partner and the type of research you conduct. So both research organizations and Dutch SMEs can apply for PPP subsidy. For research organizations, a maximum of 70% of their costs can be covered with PPP subsidy in case of industrial research, and in case of experimental development, 60% of their costs can be covered. For Dutch SMEs, this is slightly less. In case of industrial research, 60% of their costs can be covered, and for experimental, this percentage is set at 40%. Other type of parties, such as large enterprises or non-Dutch SMEs or other private parties, cannot apply for PPP subsidy. However, they are always invited to join the PPP projects. So besides the amount of PPP subsidy per partner, an important requirement is the co-finance. There is a minimum contribution per type of consortium partner at project level. The contribution of research organizations should at least be 10% of the total project cost for the Dutch part of both types of research. The enterprises in the project should contribute at least 50% for industrial research and 30% for experimental development. A contribution can be both in kind or in cash, and an in-kind contribution entails funding your own costs, where an in-cash contribution means that a party puts cash in the project to cover costs of another partner. So that's a short summary of the funding conditions of the Netherlands, and all details are of course also given in the call text. So we also wanted to give you a short overview of the coming important dates that should be in the agenda. Here you see a timeline for participation and application. One thing I want to highlight is the seminar on the 25th of April held in Basel. All relevant stakeholders are invited to participate in the seminar and matchmaking event to share insight and explore possibilities for Switch-Dutch collaboration. This seminar gives you the opportunity to pitch, to meet interesting partners, and to start project building. The seminar is a part of the Dutch innovation mission to Switzerland, linked to the Swiss Biotech Days. The agenda will soon be available on the B2Match portal, which you're all registered to. So then to give you a bit more information on the application procedure, as Colette already explained, you start by submitting your project outline, which has a deadline on the 5th of June. After a few weeks, you get your recommendations for a full proposal. And at the end of September, the full proposal should be submitted. The funding decisions will be communicated in November, and as said, if granted, the project must start on the 1st of March 2025 at the latest. So this was our webinar. If you have any questions to me, Niels, or Colette, you can ask them now. You are invited to raise your hand in the Zoom, and Niels will point out who can ask their questions and moderate the question round. Everyone will, of course, get their turn to ask a question if time allows. And of course, you can also contact us by email if you have any questions later on in the process. So for now, thank you for your attention, and I will stop sharing my screen and we can start the discussion round.
Thank you, Annabelle. You see, we work closely together. I mixed up Annabelle with Colette. Sorry for that. I'm now open up my screen. We were with quite a large group. If there are any questions, please make use of raising hands button, and I will invite you to raise the question. I see a question. I'm not sure if you're the first, but from Carl.
Okay, so thanks for the information. My question is really, how do you see the participation of very early stage startups in this whole thing? Because you know, their capacity to do other than in-kind contribution is very difficult. And as I'm from Switzerland, it's probably Colette who might help with the answer to this point.
Well, I'm happy to be able to tell you that as of 2023, we were able to adjust our funding rules, and that's why we also fund companies directly through this program, and also startups, and we require an in-kind part, and there is no extra sort of money part that you have to work out with the university. So we've adapted our rules already last year, and this has worked very well, and we hope it will be interesting for all sorts of companies now in Switzerland.
Yeah. So if a very early stage startup company can make the in-kind contributions,
Yes.
then they would be eligible.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe a little bit off topic, but I think when we have a look at the Eurostars database and the projects there, I think a large majority are pretty much early stage startups. So I think in general, the Eurostars and these type of projects are very much suitable for these type of organizations. Are there other questions? We were perfectly clear in the call, and if that's so, then we don't have to fill the full hour, of course. Maybe I'd like to stress we have the B2Match website. You are registered on that, and if you are into this Zoom meeting via another route, please note there's the B2Match website, and all the info is on there. And also the required documentation, the call text, but also the forms needed for the project outline, and later on for the full proposal will be published on the portal as well. If not yet registered for the webinar, for the seminar, and part of the Dutch delegation, please reach out to us. We very much invite you to join on the 25th of April. And I do a last check. Now I see a few more questions. I'm not sure what the order is, but I start with Sophia.
Hey, thank you very much. This is Sophia from NextGen. I got a quick question regarding the amount of money that will be given to each project. So do you already have an idea how many projects will be funded in the end, and what's the contribution to the Dutch parties, and what's the contribution to the Swiss parties?
Maybe a quick first response from my end. We have available 2 million on both sides, and of course there's no unlimited funding for this goal, but we aim for bigger projects. So to be frank, I think we aim for a small number of projects, and with small I mean 2 to 3. So in the project outline phase, we also do a check and see if there's also synergies to be found between some of the initiatives who will send in their project outline. But it gives you a little bit an insight on the amount of the size of projects we're looking for. So we're looking at 2 to 3 projects in this particular call. And maybe Annabelle or Colette, you want to add as well from your end on funding?
Yes, as Niels already said, we have 2 million euros available for this call from Health Holland's side. And of course, all SMEs parties should contribute to the project, and we have the funding conditions which need to be met, of course. But we have 2 million euros available. So I think, as Niels said, we aim for bigger projects, but there's no unlimited funding.
Thank you very much. And
I can just really comment with the same idea. We have this money reserved. We're happy to give it to the best, as always. It's a sort of that kind of thing with the experts. When they make their decisions, they have to look at that. They have to find innovation in it. And as in Swiss, we don't have a highest amount that we can give in. So we'll see what happens. We're interested to get rid of this money that we've invested. And if we have to get more, then we will start looking for places to find money.
Thank you.
And and also maybe to mention this is the goal. We mentioned Eurostars, but we're always open to further discuss if there are other opportunities now or in the near future, which can be also a tooling for the collaboration. If I'm correct, Maria, you were second, right?
Yes, but I had the very same question. Now it's clear.
Okay, thanks. Judy.
Yes, thank you. So my name is Judy van Benham. I work at Amsterdam UMC, and at this moment we are involved in the Eurostars, also with a Swiss group. I was just wondering, can you elaborate a little bit more about this 25th of April event? Because I saw something on the website and it was like starting on Sunday, 2 days something, and then another day, and now I see 1 day. So could you please elaborate a little bit more on what to expect, and if this can, if we want to attend and see further how we can prepare for it, and also what to expect, and if it can be how it will be. Thanks.
Yeah, clear. I will take this one. The seminar we have mentioned on the 25th of April, that will be held in Basel. So everyone is kindly invited to join the seminar, which is in Basel from around 9 o'clock till 2 o'clock. But the seminar itself is part of a larger visit program, which we set out from Dutch side, at least, an innovation mission to Switzerland, which we set out a couple of months ago. And that is a program which starts on Sunday evening, where we have the Swiss Biotech Day, which is a conference in Basel as well, which we held. We combine the Dutch presence at the conference, some additional site visits, etc., and the seminar in one mission program. And if you want to elaborate on that a little bit more, maybe we can discuss offline. We have to see if participating in the bigger program is still possible due to the capacity issues we might have. But if interested, please reach out to me. But of course, welcome to join the seminar on Thursday, and it's always possible to join the Swiss Biotech Day as well. So, but if you want to know more, let's touch base on a one-on-one, Judy, I would say. Any other questions? If not, then yeah, I see one. If I pronounce it right, Bilal?
Hello, yes, this is Bilal. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Great. Just had a question with regard to the collaboration agreement. You mentioned that the parties would have to enter into one if accepted by the beginning of next year. Is it possible to already have a look at the templates for the parties to be acquainted with it and make sure that it's in line with what the consortium would be working on ahead of time? I mean, just if in case it's a template, which is a standard one, that if it's possible to share the template.
Health Holland has a standard template for public-private partnerships. So I think if Colette and Niels are also okay with this, we can upload this on the B2Match portal.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, I think we strive to have all the required documentation online as soon as possible, so that you can prep. You're aware of what's being asked for also afterwards, after evaluation. I think you were the very last then, Bilal. Thank you for your question. Thank you all. No, Judy, go ahead.
Yeah, just a short question. Is there like a list of participants of these Swiss Biotech Days and/or potential partners that we can have a look at? Because I understand now that we really need to matchmake between 2 academic and 2 SME or larger parties. Is there a list available on the website? And can you please maybe email it or provide any other way through the channels that we're used to reach out to people in the seminar?
Yeah, what I can do is I'm not sure if so there are two different things, right? For the seminar which we organize ourselves with InnoSuisse as a main organizer on the Basel side. For the seminar, we don't have the participant list yet up and ready there, because we know which Dutch organization joined the mission. So on Dutch side, we have a list. The participants for the Swiss Biotech Day, I'm not sure if that is visible on their website if you're not registered for the conference itself. But if you want to have an idea on what type of organizations you could meet at the conference, you can have a look at the program of last year and the list of participants. So that gives you the idea. But yeah, it is one of the main Swiss events where, especially also for the, well, let's say the biotech industry on Swiss side is represented. So I think it might be a good opportunity for partnering there as well. They offer a partnering for those 2 days as well. But we can, yeah, it's on the website, and if possible, we will share you more info if needed.
Thank you.
With that, and then I want to thank the colleagues from Health Holland and InnoSuisse, and you, of course, for joining this webinar. And if there are any questions, please reach out to one of us. The contact details were on the slide, but are also on the B2Match website. And I wish you a very nice afternoon. Thanks for joining.
Thanks.
Thank you very much for the clear presentations.